we're talking about Mila Mila, okay, they will always just walk up and down. So I always look forward to the food, okay? So that's my favorite part of weddings. Waiter, come. Oh, chef, bring ledger. If you want to come to Ghana to stay, it's good you have like 1 or 2 whites in your wardrobe so that you can just blend in. Hello friends, this is James of the thejumzb. Thank you for stopping by and you're welcome. Before we go on to today's gist, I want you to get comfortable, get a drink, get something to chew or water, well preferably water, cold water. I don't know, today is not health talk. Anyway, I just want you to get comfortable and enjoy the video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about weddings, okay? I tried to look the part, even though it was minimal effort, but yeah. Let's manage it that way. So we're going to be talking about weddings, Ghanaian weddings and Nigerian weddings, okay? One fun fact, yes, it's a fun fact. One fun fact is I'd never been to a Ghanaian wedding in Ghana until Stella Chanel's wedding. Okay, that was my first ever wedding here in Ghana. I'd been to a few Nigerian and Ghanaian weddings back in Nigeria, yeah? Or another wedding I went for, it was Ghanaian, both Ghanaians. But in the weddings, you sort of still feel a bit of Nigerian touch because I mean, it's in Nigeria, if you get what I'm saying. So I've never been to a typical Ghanaian wedding, like typical, both the bride and the groom are Ghanaian and all of that. I've never been to one, so it's very interesting to have been to one here in Ghana. Okay, that I needed to establish that fact. Okay. Also, a disclaimer: please do not come for me in any way and say, oh, you stop generalizing, blah blah blah. I'm speaking based on my experiences. I'm speaking based on what I know. Okay. Well, Stella's wedding is how a typical Ghanaian wedding would be, I think, because I asked questions and I was told that typically that's how you get a Ghanaian wedding, to be honest. Okay, so her wedding sort of represented, or well, gave me a feel of what it looks like or what it feels like. I mean, I see these things on social media, so yeah, don't come for me. Like I said, I'm just speaking based on what I know. Please, my comments are always open for you to share your ideas. Tell me what you think. Tell me things that may or may not have applied and all of that. But anyway, I hope you watched the video. That's very important. So I'll leave the link here. Watch the video. That's it right there. I'm going to be sharing similarities, differences, my thoughts and all of that between Ghanaian weddings and Nigerian weddings. Okay, Nigeria has 3 main ethnic groups: Yoruba, Igbo and Hausa. Ghana, on the other hand, too, has several tribes as well. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to think that the weddings are almost always the same way. For instance, the traditional wedding, you wear your kente, right? Either you tie it or you sew it into maybe a kaba and slit or something. So they are almost always alike, kind of. But in Nigeria, they are almost never alike, to be honest, because the Yorubas will not do a wedding like the Hausas will do it. The Hausas will not do a wedding like the Igbos will do it. The Igbos will not do a wedding like the Edos will do it and all of that. First things first, for traditional wedding, I've never been to a traditional wedding, a Ghanaian traditional wedding, like a typical Ghanaian traditional wedding. But from what I see online, from information here and there, typically it is done in the house, right? Maybe the house of the bride, right? So just decorate it and all of that. In Nigeria, on the other hand, for Igbos, that one there, I know it for a fact. In fact, I do not think, maybe except the ones that maybe do it in Lagos, I don't go back to the village. I do not think they do traditional weddings in halls or maybe open space or something. I don't know. They typically do not do it outside of their father's compound. So the bride's father's compound is where they typically do their traditional wedding. That's for the Igbos. The Yorubas, on the other hand, things have changed. So they do it in halls these days, open field, some people in their father's houses and all of that. So it all differs, okay? So it's either use a hall or use your father's compound. But here, what I typically see is the father's compound. I'll get to that shortly. Then another thing related to this father's compound thing is I realized that from what I've seen, no, I'm not even joking, from all the social media weddings I've seen, Ghanaian weddings, they almost always do it in an open field, like maybe a well decorated open hall, if you get what I'm saying, like with a canopy and just an open space with canopy, maybe a garden, all those nice cute places where they do weddings these days. Yeah, that's where I see that Ghanaians typically do their reception, right? Nigeria, on the other hand, right, we typically do ours in halls. Typically, I say typically because I think it's just very recently that people have started using maybe gardens. In fact, their church service in gardens like this. Some of them, their receptions and all of that. Or some will do the garden wedding, then go to a hall for the reception. Or some will just do reception and church in a hall. Do you get what I'm saying? So I asked a Ghanaian, and he told me that, you see, halls here are expensive. Let me know if the information is correct, but halls here are a bit more expensive, so people just prefer maybe open spaces and all of that. Nigeria, on the other hand, halls are expensive, but people still use halls. So in lieu of halls, you can use maybe like a public school, the compound of a public school, or halls, or maybe public schools, or the garden I'm talking about. So halls are a big thing. There's virtually an event center in probably every local government in Lagos, for instance. I'm not even kidding, because people do weddings every Saturday. And that's true. People do weddings every Saturday. People do funerals every now and then. What again do people celebrate? Birthdays and all of that. So halls are actually a big thing in Nigeria. They are a big thing, okay? Here, on the other hand, not exactly. From what I've seen, not exactly. You just do it in some nice garden or open space and all of that, which I think is nice. In Nigeria, on one hand, usually, I say usually because I think it's the Yorubas that started this thing. I'm saying so because of the name Ashoebi. Ashoebi, it means cloth of the family. Asho is cloth, Ebi is family. So that just means, so people have now taken it to mean uniform and all of that. So in Nigeria, you see people who do weddings and take Ashoebi. For instance, they could take this material. This is an Ashoebi. They want to take, no, this is not an Ashoebi actually, but I'm just saying they could take this material and say, turn it to an Ashoebi and say, oh, this is my Ashoebi, buy for me, like uniform. Not just friends of the bride or friends of the groom, even people, maybe your classmates, your neighbor, your auntie, your uncle, everyone takes uniform. You can, let me paint an example. The bride's aunties can take one uniform. The bride's cousins can take another uniform. Bride's friends take another uniform. Groom's aunties take another uniform. Groom's friends, like that. So everyone, when you go there, you just see color codes here and there and all of that. I think I've started seeing it in a lot of Ghanaian weddings these days. I see mostly I see the friends of the couple. You see the groomsmen wearing, not necessarily groomsmen, but friends of the groom, friends of the bride. You see them wearing a certain type of clothes or a certain type of material or something just to look uniform, okay? In Nigeria, they usually take color codes. For instance, let's just say the color theme or the color code for the day is green, right? So that's why they picked this green as their Ashoebi, right? So you have color codes. Normally, I say normally because, normally you have color codes, so people wear different greens. Those that didn't take Ashoebi, they have some lace, they wear it, or maybe they have some corporate wear, like some nice dress they wear, or a suit or something, something to just go with the flow and to, just blend in basically, right? But here, I noticed that, before, what I've been seeing online and what I've been hearing, Ashwebi is not color. Well, they take color codes, but the typical uniform, pardon me to say, color code for Ghanaian events is white. Okay, we all know that is white. Maybe Thanksgiving is white. Funeral, depending on the age, it could be white and black, it could be red and black. Weddings, of course, white. Everything white. So if you want to come to Ghana to stay, it's good you have like 1 or 2 whites in your wardrobe so that you can just blend in, I'm just kidding. I used to, feel that Ghanaian weddings were strictly white. But I was surprised when I went for this wedding and I saw that people were wearing the color code for the day. Color code for the day was orange, right? So I think that's what I saw. So I feel like a lot of people wore different oranges, kind of, they wore different shades of orange and all of that. And I also noticed, in fact, I think this wedding was the most colorful Ghanaian wedding I've ever seen, because people wore different things. I wore something that had white. I tried my best so that I can fit in. So I think things are beginning to evolve. People now wear more colors instead of whites. Well, I don't know why is that changing. Let me know in the comment section. Now, another thing, going to the bride, you say, oh, I'm focusing too much on the bride. Well, it is what it is. So, there was this video I saw online, right? I don't know if I can find the video, but if you are familiar with the video, let me know. It was a video where it was a Ghanaian traditional wedding where a guest wore kente, stoned, nicely beaded and all of that, and she looked like she was the bride. So people were coming for her, that why should she dress like that, blah blah blah. So I saw it on some Nigerian blog sites on Instagram, and immediately I saw the video, I understood why they were bashing her. So I'm like, Nigerians are like, why are they bashing her? She's just dressed normally. Why are they saying she's trying to overshadow the bride, blah blah blah? Nigerians did not understand, but me, I understood, because typically, I don't think anyone is telling you not to wear kente to a traditional wedding, but I think they usually leave the spot of the flashy dressing or the elegant styles. They usually leave it for the bride. So I think here they don't expect you, who is a guest, to come for a traditional wedding in beaded kente, in elegantly sewn kente. I don't think it's expected of you. In Nigeria, on the other hand, people are literally trying to oppress each other with their clothing. So in fact, the only thing that will make you distinguish the bride from the rest of the crowd is probably the fact that she's the center of attraction. Then she's wearing ashoke for a Yoruba wedding, for instance. Well, it's not so typical to see guests wearing ashoke, except maybe the parents of the bride and parents of the groom. But if she's wearing lace, every other person is wearing lace, okay? So everybody's trying to outdo each other, dress as much as they can. So there's no focus on you who chooses to dress elegantly at a wedding. Of course, people look at you that, why don't you leave the spot for the bride? Even sometimes people say that you shouldn't wear white for wedding reception, which I kind of agree with, because leave the spot for the bride. It's a day. When is your turn, you wear your own. It's not a competition, okay? Leave the spot for her. Let her enjoy her day. Don't wear anything white. Don't wear anything too flamboyant. That's what I think. But yeah, I said all of that to make my point. I think you already get my points now. Here in Ghana, you leave the elegant spots for the bride, okay? Let her have, especially for traditional weddings, let her have her day with her nice kente, beaded, stoned, or sometimes, I don't know, even when she ties it, you will know she's the bride, nicely dressed like a queen mother and all of that. Leave the spot for her. But in Nigeria, everyone dresses elegantly, so I guess some people don't really care if they dress more than the bride, but yeah, it's a thing actually. So the long and short of what I'm trying to say is that here in Ghana, the bride stands out. Not that the bride does not stand out in Nigeria, but you can still see a few other people who stand out. Let me know. Like I said, these are my own thoughts. These are the things I've observed. So if you do not agree, politely tell me in the comment section, or tell me why it is so. and all of that. Just be nice and be polite with your comments. You get the gist, right? Okay, yeah. This is my favorite part of weddings, food, because again, where aside from the joining, because I come from a family where you cannot just go for people's reception. No, you must go for the church service as well. So you go to the church service. After the service, you may or may not go for the reception, depending on the venue and how convenient it is for you. So I always, after the church service, because sometimes some services are so long, so I always look forward to the food. Okay, so that's my favorite part of weddings, food, and to look at the event, learn a thing or two, and just generally enjoy the weddings. Are just so beautiful. Enjoy the bliss, the happiness you can feel everywhere. See, food is a very, very, very major part of any wedding in Nigeria. I'm not even joking with you. Some people, the amount of money they spend on food is probably more than their dress. It's probably more than the decor. Food is very important. No matter how, I've been to very, very small and intimate weddings before in Nigeria. Food must represent. There must be food, okay? And the way we do it is there are servers, okay? For the maybe, pardon my language, for a lack of a better word, let's just say a moderate or a low budget wedding. That's budgeted very small, nothing too serious. You see family members serving for you. I was still going to come to this later. So you see family members serving for the couple or friends and all of that. But in a bit more elegant wedding, or a bit more step higher than the low budget, you see people, even some low budget to weddings, they employ waiters, they employ caterers, and these caterers have waiters who serve the food. So there's some people, they have a menu on their table. You tell them what you want. When they come to you, they'll bring the food to you. So anything you want, they bring it to you. So that's just basically how it is. Like they serve you as the guest. Okay, that's how it's done. But here on the other hand, here on the other hand, what I had seen online, right, was that it's kind of like a buffet, right? So you go there and serve yourself. That's what I've seen online. I don't know if this is for the very rich people or for the moderate class. I don't know, but I've seen where you serve yourself. So, but for the wedding I went for, I noticed that they would serve you. They'll serve you. So you go on like a queue, and then they serve you the food. You tell them what you want, and then they serve you food. I said, hey, I had to, think that, hey, can this thing work in Nigeria? Even for the very, very wealthy weddings. I think that's how you know that a wedding is really high class, because nobody lifts a finger. Okay, you don't stand up for anything. The waiters, in fact, by the time you've come to the wedding, the reception, you see drinks all over your table. Some have starters. You start with small chops, then they bring the main food, then they bring a light meal where you eat like chips and chicken, chips and fish. Then when you eat it towards the evening, or some might bring dessert, cake, all these chocolates, all these things. That's when you know that the wedding is really, really big, because they come to serve you. But here, I realize whether they're very rich or not, they don't come and serve you. Let me know. I've not seen such before. I've not seen anything like that for them to come and serve you. You see, at least the one or two parties I've gone for, you stand up and they serve you. You go on a line or in a queue and they serve you. Okay, I mentioned something earlier that family members will come and help you serve. That's you, the couple, they'll help you serve. Maybe if you didn't get the services of a caterer or servers, you can get services of a caterer but not servers. So you have to pay for the servers who are probably attached to the caterers. Do you get what I'm saying? So in Nigeria, I don't know about the very, very rich people who do very elaborate weddings. I don't know if family members run around for them, but I think it's just something you do. You just see some auntie somewhere asking you, the friend of the bride, have you eaten? Oh auntie, I've not eaten. I wanted fish, they didn't give me fish. They didn't give me fish. Waiter, come. Oh chef, bring ledger. So there's someone is always running out, even the bridesmaids, to be honest. Just that some of them now, they are just there to go and take pictures. Typical bridesmaids actually run around for you. You know, just make sure everything is nice and everyone is running around for you. You see somebody running around for you. But here, I don't think that is the case. Let me know. From what I've seen, I realized that even family members are seated as guests. Because I mean, they paid the caterers, they paid the waiters and the servers. I mean, so why should they be running up and down? That's what I think. Oh, I may be wrong, but that's what I think. That's what I've seen. Okay, but I mean, that's why the case is very different in Nigeria. They will always just walk up and down. If not because, you know, for typically the mother of the bride, they're always the ones. If not because it's, you know, their day, they're supposed to be seated and be served. You see some of them up and down, running up and down, asking. Not that food is not enough. Food is actually enough. Everything is going on well, but they just need to make sure that everything is perfect. That's all. Everything has to be. Hey God, Nigerian weddings they can be chaotic sometimes. So it's very nice to you know, you can see one of the bride's cousins. Oh, please, I've not eaten. Hey, you've not eaten. Waiter, why didn't you serve this person? You know, that kind of thing. So it is actually very nice. Let me know if that is done here, because I mean, you go for weddings, you chill. Oh, like I said, weddings are for eating, to be honest. I know you people are going to call me a foodie, but it's okay. It's alright. It's fine. Now, one last thing, well, which should have been at the beginning, but it doesn't matter. It would be nice to end with this one. That from what I've seen, like I said, it seems Ghanaian weddings are a bit more moderate. Even the big ones that have a lot of crowds, that have, you know, celebrities and all of that, they're a bit more moderate compared to Nigeria, where everything is just a lot. Okay, where everything is it extravagant? I'll call it. It's just a lot. In fact, I used to think that the Hausa tribe of Nigeria, I used to think they were a bit more conservative when it comes to weddings. They were a bit more minimal. They were a bit more not out there. But the Hausa weddings I see these days, some of them are even bigger than some other weddings, to be honest. Like I said, these are my thoughts. It's not like I'm trying to bash anybody, but these are the things I've seen over time. So weddings are a big deal, and they cost a lot. In Nigeria, they cost a lot, because the hall alone, we're talking about mila, okay? If you want to be very minimal, maybe half a mila, a little half a mila, a little above half a mila, and you know, all of that kind of stuff. So you're talking about even decoration alone. Sometimes it runs into millions. Weddings are beautiful, to be honest. Let me know in the comment section if you've attended any wedding in Nigeria or in Ghana or both. Let me know. This wedding I went for, I just ticked it in my bucket list that at least I've gone for wedding. Another one I want to go for is traditional wedding. So please, if you're getting married, let me come. Invite me. Even though it's outside Accra, let me know. If I can make it, I'll try. But to be honest, it would be nice to attend another wedding. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please kindly like, comment, and subscribe. Okay? Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.